What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We have a new product alert and we're going to install it on my drift car today. Now, for the CTS and CTS-V owners, you guys all might be familiar with bumper brackets, the pesky bumper brackets. They use this like stud with splines on it and threads, and it clamps down the bumper between this bracket and the fender of the car. So what I've run into over the years is that drifting in some scenarios where the wheel is partially turned and the suspension compresses, or back when my black V was stanced and slammed to the ground, it would occasionally catch the bumper bracket. Now, what I ended up doing is I would have to trim up the bumper bracket, and then I would have to bend all the metal out of the way on the fender itself. So I decided, because I lost a bumper bracket at the track last weekend, or not last weekend, the last event on the drift car, it compressed and it caught the bracket, ripped it off the bumper, threw it somewhere, and then the front corner of the bumper was hanging off. And I was kind of in a predicament then, but some zip ties kind of made a temporary enough fix work. So we made these bumper brackets. Now these are aluminum, 6061 aluminum. They are thick enough that you can't really bend them by hand, and they are going to not only ditch the push pins, but let me show you the main difference here. So you have a bumper bracket right here. This is the part where there is a 10 mil bolt that bolts up into the fender, and then you have a push pin. You have your two studs that normally sit here, like this one, and then you have another push pin in the middle. So the two push pins, they're these guys right here. They hold your bumper bracket to your bumper. That way it doesn't go anywhere when you're trying to clamp it up. Our bumper brackets, it's pretty simple. Notice the difference? They get rid of the first couple inches here of the bumper bracket itself and ditch that 10 mil bolt that is on the fender. So with that, you use your existing push pin right there, and then we move this push pin down. I'll show you on the bumper as to where it lines up. But that way you still have the benefit of this staying on your bumper. And then we also ditched the clamp pins here for some 10 mil screws and some slide on clips. So we are going to, I'm going to show you on the bumper now, and we're going to go ahead and install the other side, the clips on the body on the other side, and then we're going to get the front bumper installed back onto my car using the new brackets. So removal is easy. Take out one push pin, take out another push pin, and then the bracket comes off of your bumper. And then you line each side up. This goes through the hole, and then this is the other hole, like I said, and there is a slot in the bumper already, and it just goes into that slot. That way it prevents, this thing from really spinning around, and it lines these holes up where they need to be. So I also trimmed this area of the bumper, so you can see the bracket comes right up to here. So I basically went down the bracket and then came up here on the bumper. This side has been untouched, so I lost one of the pins, so we'll deal with that. But let's see, this guy goes right. Let me figure out the right side here. So now it's going to be as easy as this right here is the passenger side. If you line these holes up here, you'll see this hole peeks out where the push pin goes, and that push pin goes there. So let me hold you here. Push pins are a nice snug fit in there too. So even with one, I mean, it doesn't really move when it's pushed up there tight. So the second push pin will go here, and then we have our two bolt holes for the bumper. So let's go over to the fender, and I'll show you guys kind of where this lines up. And then before I install it, I'm going to trim this section off of the bumper as well, so that we have maximum clearance. We have rubbed here a little bit, you can kind of see, but the other side was worse. Now this next part is going to require a little tapping of a hammer, but ultimately we are creating a permanent fix or location for these guys to mount. So we have these clips, zinc coated clips here, And these clips are basically, we're going to slide those into the slots, and we are going to use the 10 mil screws that I showed you, and we're going to screw them in to the slots. And then yeah, so next let's get these on the fender. I like to try and, like, I'll put my screwdriver in between and just kind of spread them out a little bit. Try and take a little of the tension off, make my life a little easier. When you screw these together, they're going, well, you can also launch one across the garage. When you screw these together, they're gonna pinch back shut. So, you know, I just get the screwdriver in there and give it a little twist to bend them out just a little bit, just so it makes it easier to get them on. So looking under the fender, we have our slots here. So this is where those studs go up and in, and then you slide the bumper back, and while you're keeping tension on the bumper, you tighten them in. And then over here is your 10 mil hole. And I don't know if you can see on camera there or not, but I have definitely caught this lip here. So ultimately I'll be going back and trimming this out. But for now, let's get our permanent solution in here. You're gonna get this started. You gotta go up through the hole with the backside, and see, like, it's a lot easier if you start by spreading them. Like I said, you're gonna get your screwdriver here, just give it a couple taps till it bottoms out, until your screw hole is basically lined up with the is at the back of this groove. So and then you can straighten it out if you'd like, but as long as that screw hole's straight up, you should be good. And then let's take our other U-clip here, get this one up, catch it on the lip. Now it is double layered here, so you want to make sure that you're not going in between the layers when you're hammering it on. You want to keep you want to keep the outside down below that layer. So then we'll couple more taps. This one went on a little crooked, so we'll just, there we go. We are lined up, and just like that, we are lined up pretty good. And this will provide us with screw holes where the bumper needs to be. So I already have the other side done, so I'm going to bring the bumper in and take a stab at getting it installed. So the top part of the bumper is secured. Now it's just a matter of lifting, getting under there. We're going to screw our bolts in. Started. Also, a little tip: if you pop your side marker light out, kind of gives you a good spot for better access. No one said anything about it being easy, but we're on. We are on. We have a nice gap there, or lack thereof. Disclaimer, like I mentioned, take this out. It'll make getting this bolt right here a lot easier. So let's do the other side. The other side should be easier just because of the way the wheel is turned. Let's see how hard I'll struggle with this one. But like I said, this one should be easier only because the way this wheel is turned. I think I have some more space. You want to kind of like position the bumper where you want it to be, because even with the studs, sometimes it'll try and walk out while you're tightening it. Get a good clamp on it there. And then down to our second one here. There you go. That's how it should have gone. So try turning your wheel like this, or in your case, it might just be easier to jack the car up. I'm using both of my jacks. If you, I don't know if you can see back there on my 3000 right now. So it might just be easier if you jack the car up, but we're on. Now, what you can do is you can trim. Let me show you guys. You can trim this tab. This was your fender liner, but this right here was where the 12 or the 10 mil bolt went. This was where the original push pin was. So we just trimmed that off the bumper. Now you can go ahead if you want, and you can radius this and trim this all out, and that way you won't have to worry about it hitting your tire. You can see how much it was hitting. It has been hitting my tire, so it'd be nice to get rid of all that, and in turn it'd be nice to get rid of all this while we're drifting. So maybe doing the first side with the wheel turned to the right side with the wheel turned to the left didn't go as planned. It wasn't as smooth. Jack the car up, you buy yourself more space, and then pop your side marker lights out. A little clip in the back, just pinch it and push outward. It'll buy you more than enough room to do what you have to do there. So like I said, these bumper brackets are going to be available at stansco.jp. Head on over there, pick yourself up some. They come with, it's going to be 2 pairs of brackets. They're reversible, so you know it doesn't matter which one's which side. And then it's going to come with 4 of the clips, the U-shaped clips that you're going to have to just tap into place on your fender. And then it's going to come with 4 of these 10 mil screws, and those are going to be your new bumper device. You won't have to worry about them getting stuck. Another thing I'll mention is, like, when these things get kind of old and crusty, which happened on my black car, they will get old and crusty to the point that, like, they'll get jammed up and they'll just strip and spin, and kind of makes it interesting trying to get the bumper off. So with that being said, check them out. If it could be useful for some of you drifter guys and for some of you stance guys, and or just anyone that might have lost a bumper bracket. You know, this will work for you. So as always, check them out, www.stansco.jp, and pick yourself up a pair, pick yourself up some other stuff too. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and tune in next time for the next video. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment below, and we'll see you in the next one.